The Glock pistol has long been one of the most popular handguns of choice amongst the shooting community. Users range from law enforcement officers, military, to even civilian shooters. With its unparalleled popularity, it was certain that airsoft players and firearms enthusiasts living in countries where guns are restricted alike wanted to get their hands on some of these guns. It was to no one's surprise that when there were finally fully licensed Glock pistols released on the market, they were wildly popular. Like many other airsoft pistols, these Airsoft Glocks closely emulate their real steel counterpart from looks to function, which offer not only a great gun for a day of airsoft gaming, but for a chance to operate a replica pistol as close as possible to the real thing. Now, over the years, there have been other companies who have produced guns that were close enough to emulate the legendary Glock, but they have always fallen short in one way or another due to the lack of proper licensing. So they've either been off spec, or there's certain aspects of the gun that just took you out of the overall immersion or experience of owning and operating the closest you can get your hands on the real thing without owning the real thing. But all of that changed in 2018 when Umarex secured the Glock license and a slew of Glock airsoft pistols hit the market like a hurricane. In our list of top 10 airsoft Glocks, we aim to provide a comprehensive list of these pistols. While many of them might be made by the same manufacturer and do look very similar, there are differences between them, whether it be internal parts or external builds. We hope that this list offers some insight as to what we think are the best airsoft Glocks out of the many that are available. Number 10, the Humerx Glock 17 Gen 3 by VFC. Now, the Glock 17 Gen 3 is widely attributed to be the pistol that popularized polymer frame striker-fired pistols. When it was initially launched in 1998, it came with revolutionary features such as a universal accessory rail, thumb rests, and alas, finger grooves. While there were other pistols during this time that had same or similar features, it was the Glock that really made these features mainstream. Further combining these with its legendary reliable performance, it propelled the Glock into the hearts and minds of users around the world. The airsoft version was released in 2018 and was probably the second most popular but best sold out of the original big three that came out during that time. The system used was very traditional, which lent itself to be easily worked on by third-party parts makers. The Airsoft Glock 17 Gen 3 by VFC was not considered groundbreaking, but its readily available stock numbers meant players that have been waiting for fully licensed Airsoft Glocks can finally get their hands on one. Combined with a steady stream of upgrade parts, it was a great platform for players to use and further modify. Just because we put this gun here on the number 10 spot, that by no means says it's a bad gun. It's just newer guns have come out, and at the time, this was already a slightly older system, but a great place to start off our top 10 list. Number 9, the Umarex Glock 42 by VFC. One of the most popular real steel Glocks carried by many is the Glock 43. Now, this little gun is a single stack 9mm pistol ideal for concealed carry and is very popular amongst ladies for its smaller, easier to use grip on the frame.
What? It gets cold in your tactical shorts.
Airsoft version of this gun exactly replicates the compact footprint of the real steel Glock 42 and even allows for some pretty interesting gameplay for those that enjoy carrying a backup to your backup. That can even fit in your admin pouch. While it may not have the highest FPS and may not be able to carry a whole lot of rounds, it can be a great starting point for, as previously mentioned, the ladies or even kids with smaller hands. Number 8. The Umarex Glock 19 Gen 3 by VFC. In the world outside of airsoft, the Glock 19 is the most popular Glock, being a great gun that is in between a full-size pistol and a subcompact. This compact carry gun is highly capable, and being so popular, it was an instant success when the airsoft version was released. The Umarex Glock 19 Gen 3 by VFC was one of the original Big Three. Now, keep watching to find out which are the other two. That was released all at once. These Airsoft Glocks featured systems that were similar internally and externally to many pistols that were already on the market at the time of their release. Features like how the hop-up was adjusted and blowback housing were all products of its time. Well, they were not bad, but there were nothing really new about them. The Glock 19 Gen 3 was a solid entry and quickly became a very successful airsoft gun, as it was a familiar system for both players and manufacturers to work on. Number 7. The Umarex Glock 18C by VFC. The Glock 18C is a full auto capable pistol that in the real steel world is limited to military and law enforcement only. While some may argue its usability in the real steel world, the airsoft version is certainly more practical and easier to come by. The Airsoft Glock 18C replicates the real steel one nicely and will sure put a smile on your face every time you shoot this gun on full auto. The Humerx Glock 18C by VFC features an extended 50-round magazine that comes with an exceptionally large gas reservoir. This allows you to shoot the gun on full auto more frequently and still have enough rounds and gas to last you a few bursts. However, the place where this gun really shines is when you pair it with different carbine kits, and that will instantly transform your pistol into almost like a faux SMG. Number 6. The Umarex Glock 45 by VFC. The Glock 45 is one of Glock's latest releases and is what many consider to be the successor of the Glock 19X. Now, more on that later. The Glock 45 adopts a highly demanded full-size grip to a compact Glock 19 length slide. This allows the gun to be kind of a best of both worlds that offers operators with large hands more surface while being able to be relatively easy to carry and conceal. The Airsoft Glock 45 by VFC is an incredibly handsome looking pistol, and unlike other Airsoft Glocks on our list, this one features a set of front serrations for easier manipulation. In addition, its patterning after the Glock 19X means its frame has done away with finger grooves in exchange for a more universal gripping surface with improved texturing. Internally, the gun also features VFC's guide hop technology, which cleverly allows you to adjust your hop up without the removal of the slide. You can simply adjust it by using an Allen key to twist its guide rod under its barrel to adjust for more or less hop. This is combined with an improved blowback housing for better shooting experience and stronger felt recoil. Number 5. Humerx Glock 17 Gen 3 by GHK. This particular example comes to us by way of GHK. GHK is one of the finest gas airsoft gun manufacturers that specialize in airsoft rifles, especially AK rifles. Over the years of building what many consider industry-leading AK and M4 gas blowback rifles, GHK took their design and manufacturing know-how and thus applied it to creating an all-new system from the ground up in this particular Glock 17 Gen 3. Now, it's touted as one of the most realistic airsoft Glock pistols. The Glock 17 Gen 3 from GHK features probably the strongest recoil impulse of any airsoft pistol on this list. Combined with its heavy trigger and ability to work with real steel accessories like lights and lasers and holsters, it makes for an ideal training tool for law enforcement, military, and civilians alike, where either ammunition is expensive or real firearms are, prohibited. Internally, the pistol also closely resembles that of a real firearm, as it does away with traditional blowback units in favor of a large cylinder CNC machined in right into the slide. Furthermore, the other parts and firing mechanism of this pistol are molded into the frame by using a process called overmolding. This makes each part more robust and able to take the recoil impulse of the gun. Number 4. The Umarex Glock 19X by VFC. The Glock 19X is a very significant pistol, as it was one of the guns considered by the United States Army to replace its M9 service pistol that has been the replacement to the long-serving M1911. The Glock 19X was the first Glock to offer a full-size frame paired with a compact slide form factor. Not to mention, it came standard in the color FDE or flat dark earth. Though it eventually did lose out to the SIG P320, the Glock 19X has been a wild success in the civilian market, filling a void that many wanted. If it wasn't for the Glock 19X, there would be no Glock 45. The Airsoft Glock 19X by VFC was equally as wildly successful in the airsoft community, as many considered it a departure from the generic Glock look. The Airsoft Glock 19X came feature-packed with the guide hop adjustment system and an updated blowback system and a dual recoil spring for snappier felt recoil. Now, due to its popularity, it also quickly enjoyed some aesthetic upgrades such as threaded outer barrels. Number 3. The Umarex Glock 17 Gen 4 by VFC. The Glock 17 Gen 4 was a successor to the Glock 17 Gen 3 and it was released in 2010. While there are not many drastic changes on the surface, there are some subtle improvements that made the Glock Gen 4 stand out. Some of the key features are the updated texturing, the ability to add back straps for different hand sizes, and the usage of a dual recoil spring for better recoil mitigation. For many real steel shooters, these were welcoming updates to a Gen 3 pistol that at the time was already over 10 years old. The Airsoft Glock 17 Gen 4 by VFC was the most popular release of the original Big 3. Much like its real steel counterpart, it featured the same texturing and dual recoil spring. It was incredibly snappy and offered a strong recoil impulse. The pistol also boasted extremely stable FPS, making it a great scrimmaging choice for airsoft players that wanted a highly reliable sidearm. As mentioned, it was the most popular pistol of the original release, but due to lower numbers, it did take longer to get into the hands of airsoft players and collectors. Number 2. The Humerx Glock 19 Gen 4 by VFC. The Glock 19 Gen 4 was also released in 2010 and was quickly one of the most successful pistols of the Glock lineup. As we previously discussed, when talking about the Glock 19 Gen 3, the Glock 19 is Glock's most popular Glock due to its compact size. The Gen 4 Glock 19 builds upon that success and is given the same treatment as seen on the Glock 17. The inclusion of the ability to add different backstraps did make this pistol a much better option than the Gen 3, as it did not cater as well to shooter with larger hands. The Airsoft Glock 19 Gen 4 is the current standard when it comes to pistols in this particular size and form factor. The gun is extremely robust and kicks very hard, even when compared with other guns larger than it. Combined with the ability to use real steel accessories such as lights, lasers, and holsters, not only is the Airsoft Glock 19 Gen 4 ideal for airsoft players, but can also be a great training tool. Honorable mentions. The first one, we're going to start with the RWA Exa. Yes, I know it's not like a Glock, but it did start its life out as a regular Glock, even though it's what many consider a custom Glock. Being produced from blueprints supplied by Agency Arms themselves, the airsoft version of the Exa is a one-to-one replica of the real steel version as seen all over the internet. As we previously stated, this is a highly modified Glock, but at its heart, it's still a Glock that we've known and love. As being highly modified, just like the real steel version, it features a Timberwolf frame for better gripping surfaces for those who prefer a different grip angle, and of course, a highly stylized slide that's not only looks great, but functions great for better manipulation. The second honorable mention on our list is the Emg Strike Industries ARC 17. It's very similar to the Exa pistol as it started its life as a generic, normal-looking Glock. But, being made by Strike Industries, it also is highly stylized and features many futuristic design cues, such as angular window cuts and a whole lot of markings. The airsoft version of the ARC 17 pistol can be classified as a highly customized airsoft Glock. Many of its base features and controls are exactly the same as what you would find on Glock pistols, and many of the same accessories work as well. The ARC 17 also features an RMR cut for you to mount an RMR style red dot optic on it. And number 1, the Umarex Glock 17 Gen 5 by VFC. The Glock 17 Gen 5 is the latest release from Glock Inc. and features many updates highly requested by the shooting community. Among some of these requests were the removal of the finger grooves and improvements to the texturing on the frame. Glock then further went and added a slightly flared magwell, which facilitated smoother reloads without having to buy extra accessories. In addition, Glock added some subtle design changes to the front of the slide by beveling it, taking away some of the hard edges. The Airsoft Glock 17 Gen 5 by VFC is the best pistol out of the lineup of Airsoft Glocks we have listed. Not only did it employ the latest gas system, which is highly efficient, but also offers a substantially harder kick than any other model on this list, barring the GHK Glock 17 Gen 3. This latest gas system will be the standard going forward, making it ideal for third-party manufacturers to start doubling down on producing aftermarket parts and upgrades for this pistol. As expected, the Airsoft Glock 17 Gen 5 also works perfectly with real steel accessories such as lights, lasers, and holsters. Finally, the Airsoft Glock 17 Gen 5 is backwards compatible with other Glock 17 magazines except the one made by GHK. Now that was a very comprehensive list of a whole lot of Glocks. But since there's so many on the market, we hope this video was informative for you if you're in the market for buying a particular Glock and needed some help with finding the right one for you. Now, if you wanted to watch any of the videos that we have featured, you can find them linked in the description below, along with all of our different product pages for you to learn more. Now, guys, if you thought this was cool, give us a like. If you liked it, share it with your friends. You see how I mixed it up this time? Now, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you get notified every time we upload a new video. And if you saw any of the products from this video, if you like them, go to our online store at www.redwolfairsoft.com. Now, there's also other cool products there too, so don't just limit your scope to the Glocks. And until next time, guys, I'll see you on the next episode of RedWolf TV.